Yo, what's up guys, Dezo here, and today we're going to be talking about why Westeros will most likely fall into democracy. So in my video where I say that Melisandre is the key to everything, I mentioned that some people believe that Westeros could fall into democracy. I kind of threw the idea away in the video, and a lot of people were commenting saying democracy is a plausible ending for Westeros. So I started doing some research on it, and now I am convinced that Westeros will fall into democracy. This isn't one of those videos where I'm going to sit here and tell you that the Iron Throne is made out of Valyrian steel swords, so they're going to take the throne apart to defeat the White Walkers, and then bam, no ruler. That doesn't even make any sense, to be honest. Just because there was no Iron Throne doesn't mean there can't be a ruler. Somebody doesn't need a specific iron chair to be a king. Robb and Jon didn't have an Iron Throne in the North, but they still rule the North. Jon can still easily be a king and not have an iron chair. So assuming that the Iron Throne is made out of Valyrian steel swords, it doesn't mean that Westeros will be like, yeah, there's no chair anymore, so we don't need a king. With that said, let's get right into this theory on why Westeros will probably fall into democracy. So in Season 5, Episode 1, Varys says,
"The Seven Kingdoms need someone stronger than Tommen, but gentler than Stannis. A monarch who can intimidate the High Lords and inspire the people. A ruler loved by millions with a powerful army and the right family name."
So he was talking about Daenerys. Later in Season 5, Daenerys says,
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground.
It's a beautiful dream. Stopping the wheel. You're not the first person who's ever dreamt it.
I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
So Daenerys mentions House Targaryen as a spoke on the wheel, and she wants to break the wheel. How would that happen with her still on top? She would have to be elected. Varys was saying Westeros needs a ruler loved by millions and inspires the people. People who love her and are inspired by her would elect her, just as they elected Jon and Robb as the kings of the North.
And now the dragons are dead. There sits the only king I mean to bend my knee to. The King of the North!
They can keep their red castle. And their iron chair, too. The King in the North.
The King of the North!
The King in the North! The King in the North! The King in the North!
I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king, from this day until his last day.
Jon Snow avenged the Red Wedding. He is the White Wolf, the king in the North. House Glover will stand behind House Stark, as we have for 1,000 years.
And I will stand behind Jon Snow. The King in the North!
The King in the North!
So before we continue, I feel like this really needs to be said. Please watch this video on why Sansa will not betray Jon. I feel like that's going to be a big argument in the comment section on this video, and I really hope you guys watch that so it clears it up for you guys and convinces you otherwise, because it will not happen. Anyways, both those clips showed that Jon and Robb were both elected monarchs. Something like that will probably happen for the final ruler of Westeros in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. So for every theory I make a video on, I always present a counter-argument, and there is a major problem with this theory that is yet to be explained, and this comes from George R.R. Martin himself. George believes war is pointless, and he's also not a fan of happy endings. Oh, this person was elected and everybody lived happily ever after. That's not what his writing is about, and it's not what it's going to come to. But everybody knows this. Everybody assumes that there's going to be some major sacrifice of either Daenerys or Jon, and then that sacrifice is going to end the war with the White Walkers, and then the other one will take the spot as the ruler. And bam, there's the bittersweet ending. But that is not what George is going to do. In an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, George R.R. Martin said this: "Ruling is hard. This was maybe my answer to Tolkien, whom as much as I admire him, I do quibble with. Lord of the Rings had a very medieval philosophy that if the king was a good man, the land would prosper. We look at real history and it's not that simple. Tolkien can say that Aragorn became king and reigned for 100 years, and he was wise and good, but Tolkien didn't ask the question. What was Aragorn's tax policy? Did he maintain a standing army? What did he do in times of flood and famine? And what about all these orcs? By the end of the war, Sauron is gone, but all of the orcs aren't gone. They're in the mountains. Did Aragorn pursue a policy of systematic genocide and kill them, even the little baby orcs in their little orc cradles? So based on this and based on the time left in the show and that there's only 2 books left, it seems like there won't be a ruler at all simply because there's not enough time for George to show all this stuff. Which opens up the other possibility that the White Walkers just destroy everything and everybody dies. No, but in all seriousness, I don't know. I think democracy would make a good ending for Westeros, especially after all that's happened. But this one interview really makes me question how George is going to wrap everything up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, leave a like on this video, and subscribe for more Game of Thrones related videos. There is a playlist to all my theories in the description below.